I'm Shirakawa from OE Transport. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too.
Continuing on, I'll be asking Igarashi-kun some questions. Please go ahead.
For training assistants, what's the process for joining a stable? Like, how do you change jobs? It's not like a big public thing, right?
Well, they can actually post job openings on the platform for others to see.
Oh, like within the training center.
Exactly. In very rare cases, some people even transfer from Miho to Rito.
That's usually because they want to move, or maybe for some less than ideal reasons, like wanting to change their environment.
Yeah, to change things up. I only know of 1 or 2 people who've done that though.
So basically, most people just switch stables within the same training center?
When the Igarashi stable was disbanded, there were several other staff members besides me. When it came to where everyone would work next, usually, a new stable opens up to replace the one that closed due to retirement.
Ah, so there's a turnover.
The standard flow is to move to that new stable. That's the most common way.
It's not exactly a rule, but more of a long-standing custom.
Right. However, it's rarely just one stable disbanding. It's usually 2 or 3 happening at the same time. But the number of new stables opening up isn't always exactly the same as the number closing.
Ah, because of the trainer's license exam. I see.
And of course, the number of stalls in each stable varies. Usually, a new stable starts with 14 or 16 stalls in its first year. Then, the following year, it increases to 18 or 20 stalls. The standard number is 20. From there, successful stables can grow to 22 or 24 stalls. Even if the 20-stall Igarashi stable disbanded and, say, 3 new ones opened, some people still couldn't fit into those 3.
If they only have 18 or 16 stalls?
In that case, they go to the stables that are expanding to 22 or 24. So there's pretty much no such thing as not being able to find a job anywhere.
Is this decided by trainer and individual discussion?
Yes, a discussion. In my case, when the Igarashi stable disbanded, I went somewhere other than those 3 new ones. At that time, I joined a stable with 16 stalls that was expanding to 18. The trainer asked me, "Igarashi-kun, would you like to come work for us?" And I said, "Sure, I'll go." Also, I ended up leaving that first stable after just 1 year. And when I quit, there was a stable that had posted a job opening, like I mentioned before. When I consulted with the trainer I'm working for now, he said, "Well then, will you come work for me?" So I said, "Oh, thank you, I'm in your care."
It's generally fixed at 20 stalls, right? But what if they want to hire more people to provide better care? Is that not allowed?
It's not allowed. The rule is 12 people for every 20 stalls.
So the capacity is already set.
Right. And if it's 24 stalls, it's 13 people. Then if it goes up to 28 stalls, it's like adding 1 person for every 4 stalls.
I see. If you want to increase it just because you want to do this, then you won't be able to keep the staff numbers stable, and you can't protect their jobs. On the flip side,
stables that originally had 22 or 24 stalls, due to performance or various other reasons, there are cases where they actually want to reduce them.
Right, yeah.
But then you'd have to start laying people off. So they'd have to discuss it within the stable, and every few years, someone might eventually find themselves transferring to a different stable. It's very rare, though.
I see.
Also, and this probably isn't known by outsiders, but depending on the prize money, what gets distributed to the grooms and staff, it's like an incentive system for a salesperson, but the base pay is determined by years of service, right?
The base salary? The base salary is fixed. And lately, over the last few years on X and such, it often becomes a topic during the annual spring labor offensive. But currently, in the training centers like Miho and Rito, there are 2 different salary systems.
Different between Miho and Rito?
No, Miho and Rito are the same. The salary system is different for our generation versus the younger generation.
Oh, okay, I see.
We call them the old wage and the new wage systems. But for us, we receive what's called a seniority allowance, where the amount you get varies based on how many years you've been at the training center. And that seniority allowance is basically added on top of our salary. But for the kids under what's called the new wage system, this seniority allowance was eliminated.
Completely?
0, the number.
Isn't it a lot less?
It's really way less.
You mean it doesn't increase?
It can't increase because it's 0 to begin with.
It doesn't exist.
Right. So it doesn't change even after 10 years?
Well, the base salary still goes up.
Oh, that's separate.
Exactly. The base salary increases, but they no longer get that seniority allowance. Under our old system, the salary goes up every year, and the seniority allowance goes up every year too.
Wait, the rate of increase is different.
Exactly, it's completely different.
Wow. So the number of people who actually want to join is decreasing?
I think that's why it's decreasing. In terms of numbers, it's a 20% cut. For the past few years, during the spring labor offensive, the union people have been pushing to unify the old and new wage systems.
But wouldn't that just lead to everyone's pay being reduced?
Well, the people on the old system would say, no way. The conflict over that is really intense, and a few years ago, there was even a member of the Diet who brought it up. He asked the minister at the time, are you aware of this? That within an organization like the JRA, there's a structure with two different wage systems? Are you aware of this, Minister?
So it's actually become quite a major issue.
I was actually shocked when I saw a young person's pay stub. I thought, no wonder fewer people want to join this industry.
On top of that, the early mornings, working weekends, usually having Mondays off, having days off on weekdays.
For our current job, specifically as track riders, there is basically no prize money commission.
There isn't.
Right. Basically, only the grooms and, of course, the training assistants in charge of specific horses get the commission. Also, in my case, for example, it is what is called a percentage. Right now, I get 3 rin of the prize money.
3 rin.
3 rin, the rin from the traditional percentage system.
Like 0.3%?
Exactly. That is what I get. But that is treated as a gesture of goodwill from the trainer. So if the trainer says they do not want to give it, that is it. That is why among young people today, there is really no one who wants to be just a track rider.
It is not like your salary goes up even if you go through all that trouble.
If that is the case, being a groom is better. Just getting that commission really changes your motivation for the job. That is the downside of the training center. There are quite a few people in the general public who misunderstand and think that betting ticket sales are linked to our salaries. In reality, that has absolutely nothing to do with it. Our salaries come from the boarding fees the trainer receives from the owners, so much per horse, though it varies by stable. Our salaries are paid out of those boarding fees. When it comes to negotiating our new or old wage systems, the party we are in conflict with is the Owners Association. In other words, the Racing Association is caught in the middle, between us on the ground and the Owners Association that pays the boarding fees. Whether individual owners or club owners, the Racing Association is stuck in between.
Wasn't the base salary determined by age and years of experience?
Of course, that is already determined. So, to be really blunt, the more older staff a stable has, the higher the boarding fees tend to be.
If a new trainer gets only veterans from a dissolved stable, the burden is huge even without results. Costs go up immediately.
When a stable dissolves and people look for a new one, older staff tend to be less welcome because the boarding fees will go up. From a trainer's perspective, hiring new graduates is the best option.
Aren't they bad at riding?
No, well, to become a groom, although it has loosened up a bit now, you cannot do it unless you have gained a certain amount of experience.
Is that so?
In our time, there were specific age limits in place, like you had to be under 27 or 28 years old to qualify. But that age limit was removed starting last year.
Completely?
Yeah, so recently there was someone who joined as a new hire, even though they were older than me. 1 year older than me, but in their first year at the training center.
Such a labor shortage.
No way.
Overall, is there still a shortage of people?
There is.
If there's a shortage, will one person care for more horses?
Well, you see, for that part, we have what we call helpers. They've graduated from racing school, but they haven't been assigned to a stable yet. Or there are those who've retired, but are still physically fit and say they can work. Nowadays, it's common to have them come into the stables as helpers to assist us.
That's working for now, so it's fine, but Rito is still better off. The situation in Miho is much more serious.
Yeah.
Like a branding thing?
No, well, the location is a big factor too.
I'm sure that's part of it. After all, it's a village.
Miho village after all.
Exactly, Miho village. Whereas Rito is a city.
I see, okay.
I've been there 2 or 3 times and there's really nothing around. Looking at the big picture, Rito has more horses running and there are many stables with good track records, you know?
In the end, it's just like how owners want to stable their horses in Rito. When you think about the prize money, it's better to go where you can win.
Well, that makes sense.
What makes me think it's a sign of the times is, back in our day, it didn't matter where. Just getting into a training center was a win. We just desperately wanted someone to hire us.
There was a waiting list.
Wow, just wow.
When you've been waiting for a year or two, if someone says they'll take you, whether their record was good or bad, or the environment was good or bad, it didn't matter. You just wanted them to take you. But now, like I said, there are those who've graduated from racing school and are waiting, boys and girls who haven't been assigned to a stable yet, working as helpers. Apparently those kids turn down offers even when they're approached.
What, you mean they're the ones doing the choosing?
Exactly. So even though there is currently a labor shortage, that's actually just making things worse.
Right.
They get a minimum wage as helpers, so they're not struggling to make ends meet. I heard there was a kid who turned down the same stable 3 times.
It's the times, and the power balance is shifting in various ways. Owners are powerful now, but in the past it was the trainers. There was a time when owners would beg them to take their horses.
Yeah. Back then, there were typically 13 people working for 20 stalls. Later, owners started requesting lower stabling fees, so the staff was reduced to 12 people for those same 20 stalls per stable. Basically, by reducing the staff by 1, the stabling fee for that stable goes down.
That's true.
From an owner's perspective, the lower the stabling fees, the better.
Well, if they get the same results, then yeah.
Or if I could say something to the Racing Association, the association keeps hiking up the prize money for big races like the G1. First prize is like 200 or 300 million yen. But the prize money for horses in lower classes with only 1 win doesn't go up at all. So from an owner's point of view, they'd rather see those prizes increased.
True.
That's really tough for the ones who are paying.
Unless they raise the base pay.
That's changing too. In the past, being a horse owner was all about status.
Wearing the badge, right?
Only a select few could become one.
That's the image, yeah.
Like a hobby for the wealthy. But now, as Yamanaka-san mentioned, fractional ownership is very common, so they run it like a business.
Oh, a business.
They have to turn a profit, so they're always thinking about costs. So the whole structure has changed compared to the old days. Back then, owners probably gave out huge tips, or
Oh, gratuities.
Oh, they did.
They did, absolutely.
I bet that's gone now, right?
Almost entirely.
So for stable hands, if the age limit is gone, they just go to school, pass the exam, and they're in?
Is no experience required?
Well, according to the racing world's rules or regulations, you don't even have to graduate from racing school.
Wait, don't you need a license?
There's no such license.
What, isn't there a stable hand license?
No. There's no actual license card or anything.
Oh, really?
No, we don't have them. To be precise, at Rito, it is defined as someone officially approved by the head of the Rito Training Center.
I see.
It says that if the department head approves you to work in the training center, then you're ready to start working.
Wow.
But there's absolutely no way a random person can simply go and meet the head of Rito and say they want to work there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
The point is, only racing school graduates have that kind of connection.
Ah, I see. Let me think.
Once you graduate from racing school, you have ties to the racing world. You're connected to the Trainers Association so they can help place you.
I get it,
It's less common now, but a few years back, everyone was pushing to allow hiring with just a trainer's approval, instead of the training center heads. I mean, that's how it works in a real company, right?
That is true.
If a CEO wants to hire you, it's only natural they can, right? I'm afraid you can't do that here at this location.
Like how everyone got a few years of experience at a farm.
Oh, that's also a thing. But that's a requirement for entering racing school.
Oh, that's for that?
It's not for entering the training center, but for the school. In my case, I needed at least 6 months of experience with both riding and racehorses.
Oh, is that really all?
It changes every year now. To be honest, the tuition for the school has become incredibly cheap.
Oh, I saw that in the news.
Is that so?
The JRA is providing subsidies?
Because kids up until last year paid about 700,000 yen. But for those applying this year, it's around 200,000.
Wow, that's cheap. Such a big change in a year?
The people from last year really lost out. It feels that way, right?
If there's still a shortage, what's the problem, besides the emotional aspect we discussed?
Well, I think the money issue is part of it too. And simply put, the work is just tough when it's tough, In terms of content, and the mornings are early. We work Saturdays and Sundays too. Actually, Saturday mornings are even earlier because of the races. So there's no golden week, and yeah, we work on New Year's Eve too. Our only real day off is New Year's Day, so it's definitely hard. Yearly,
How many days off a year?
I don't know. It's just Mondays for now. But these days, even some breeding farms are starting to give 2 days off a week, right? So maybe at the Rito Training Center or the JRA, depending on how they handle it, a day might come when they can adopt that too.
That's true. If we don't actually start doing that soon, things will probably just keep getting worse and worse, honestly.
Well, last month I had the chance to ride in a horse trailer and visit a farm. There were so many Japanese people there. Everyone, lots of young people, even some in their 20s, I thought. But then I went to another small to medium farm, and there were only foreigners. They spoke Japanese though, so...
There are already voices saying that, as some people have pointed out, even in Miho, we're going to need foreign workers soon.
That's being said. They're just not in the JRA yet, but there are plenty in local racing. So people are starting to say that maybe one day the JRA will be like that too. It's being discussed here and there. Like we said earlier, workers are starting to have more choices now, so it's a matter of whether the Racing Association will accept that. There's also talk on the ground about whether we should consider night racing like they do in local circuits. I don't know if it'll happen, but some people wonder why local tracks can do it and the central ones can't.
In the end, as we've discussed before, there's a gap between that and reality. I'm sure there are many reasons to switch to night racing, heat measures for the people, for the horses, so let's do it at night when it's cool, but that would throw off the entire existing workflow. What we do in the morning wouldn't change. The break time might get longer, but the flow of the day. People would be like, wait, from this time to that time?
Solving this problem probably isn't really something that can be done very easily in just a year or two.
It used to be a world full of dreams, but lately, hearing about the internal situation, you start to think that people won't join and it won't last, honestly.
Is there anything usable?
No, there's plenty of good stuff. I think it's going well.
This is probably where things really get going.
Oh, really? Well, let's take a break for now.
What do you mean, get going?
Thank you for today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Ohe is currently looking for drivers. Please check out the recruitment site or our corporate site linked in the description. If you're interested, we'd love for you to apply.